There's been a massive update to Firefly's background removal, available today in Firefly's creative production surface as well as Firefly Services via API. Now, when I heard about this update last week, I grabbed probably the three most used common and complex images to run Firefly through its paces to really see where we rank against all the other amazing background removal tools that are out there. And before I give the grand reveal, I'll tell you, I was pretty blown away, especially within the example of the human with the hair flowing and how Firefly responded to that. So we'll get to that, but let's get through the kind of test that I put the background removal tools through. So here are the three images that I utilized as part of my test and exploration. As a creative myself, I use background removal tools very often because it mitigates a majority of my post-production workflows and allows me to get to a production level asset a lot faster. I mean, that's the whole reason why we use these tools, right? So here are my three images. Of course, human, long flowing hair. I went with jewelry as well. Lots of nooks and crannies there for little artifacts to be left over, especially as the tool goes through, does a clean sweep. And then, of course, I included a landscape photo, trees, branches, flowers, etc. Lots of opportunity for things to be missed. A great test case. So let me walk you through kind of what I found. So in the first couple of apps that I had tested, there were some things that worked well and some things that it could use some improvement. So in this first one, as I was kind of playing around, what I noticed is right off the bat is that there still resides to be some haloing going on, especially in the upper torso around the person's face. But the other things that I noticed is that there was a color change in the hair that clearly displayed that there's no level of transparency. So when it comes into blending this into the background, there's definitely going to be some post work required. Now, just coming down to the next one, the chain, this one had pretty good results, but some of the things that I noticed happening is that the edges start to get degraded. There's some feathering that gets applied, and in a lot of cases, like where the chain's kind of bulked up or closer down here next to the charm, there's still some artifacts that remain. And then kind of moving on down into this example, it further kind of shows where the feathering happens. It's not necessarily a sharp kind of clean clipping mask. So it's got a feather effect going on, but also too, there's still some remnants left over of the background. Now, on this same photo of the tree, I used another tool. You can tell here within this tool, the clipping was a lot cleaner and a lot sharper, more of what I expected. But unfortunately, there were still some artifacts that remained, again, adding to more of my post-production process. And kind of going up into the jewelry area, there's still some artifacts left in the chain, require me to go and kind of remove those manually. But there's also some little feathering going on the edges as well, kind of giving it that blurred effect. And then kind of going up into the human itself, less of a halo effect around here. There's still probably a little bit that can be clipped, in my opinion, but also I noticed that the hair, there was a decent amount of background left in the hair. And so requiring me to still continue in my post workflow. Now, kind of sliding over, this is the grand reveal. This is what Firefly did. And you look at the hair, and if I just zoom out, you can notice a pretty substantial difference between the hair outputs of the kind of the three tools that I tested, Firefly being this last one. But the clipping is also quite good. Goes right around. Again, this is probably what I'm looking for to get that production level asset ready to go to continue through my workflow. And if I just kind of come down to the chain too, you can tell all the little areas too within here have all been removed, specifically around this clump and up in here where that chain is kind of clumped together as well. Did a really good job. The clipping is really clean and crisp. And then kind of continuing down to the same area of that tree, the flowers or the blossoms on these branches are very sharp, very true to its current state with the background removed. So again, getting me ready with a production level asset so I can continue on my creative workflow. So all in all, testing all of these, like the new upgrade to Firefly's background removal is wild. It is so good. Again, as a creative myself, this really kind of cuts down on my post-production process so I can really focus more on the creative aspects of my project. Now, I'm sure you want to check this out today. It is available today. It is available in our Firefly Creative Production Surface. Now, if you want to access this, it is on the Firefly website, firefly.adobe.com, and you would navigate right into production, and it is that first tile right there. Now, you can also access this via Firefly Services through our API access and run the background removal at bulk. And again, same thing within creative production. This is at bulk too, up to 1,000 assets. So you can really remove those backgrounds at scale. I encourage you to check it out. Let us know what you think, but also let us know where you want this new feature to show up. It is only available via these two surfaces, the creative production as well as Firefly Services, but we'd love to know where you'd like to see this show up next. Thanks so much.